Well, good evening on this Testimony Tuesday. My name is Brittany Francis. I'm so incredibly excited to host Top Tiers Testimony Tuesday. Every single week, we get together as a family and you get to invite your friends to what we really just say is testimony night. There are so many things that are happening with this technology, and so many of our family members that desperately need it might just jump on just to hear a testimony, right? And so I think about my dad and how badly I wanted my dad to just get on it. He was bone on his hips. And you know what got him on it was me saying, Dad, I'm sharing today. Can you just listen to me? And he said yes. So with that, we're doing this just so that us as a family, you can jump on and hear the hope of what's going to happen for your family when they jump on this road. So if you're new with us, welcome. Now, this is not a normal disclaimer. Okay, this disclaimer talks about stem cells and how your testimony is going to be totally different than the person's testimony that you know and that you love. Okay, so please know that if your testimony is different than your neighbor's and you both have bad backs, doesn't mean that your back is not going to feel better. Your body is going to do the work, and we're going to have Dawn tonight share about stem cells and what they do and what the science is behind stem cells. But just know that your testimony is going to be incredible using this technology. Dawn, why don't you take it from here?
Well, stem cells are the master building blocks in our entire body, and it's their job to go through our body, and they're going to look for areas to repair it. So sometimes you might start using the patch and you want it to work one place like I did, a knee, but it might want to work someplace else. So they're just hunt and seek. It's like little soldiers. They're going around and they're looking for everywhere that they can repair it. And they're going to turn into whatever's necessary. They're going to take care of inflammation. They're going to repair damaged cells. They are antimicrobial. They're going to kill bacteria, parasites, fungi, and they have the ability to turn into anything that they need to: a liver, a heart, a kidney, the work in your joints, whatever. And by the time we're 30, 50% of those stem cells go dormant. And then by the time we're 60, my age and older, they 90% of them are dormant. That's why we begin to age and we start, we're not as able to recover as fast when we hurt ourselves, or if we get sick, we don't recover as fast. And so we don't want them dormant. So this patch does great things because it will regenerate those.
That's perfect. So stem cells truly are everything that you would want for your body to have to be awake. Okay, so like she said, they are undifferentiated. So if you were to go into your kitchen and burn your hand on the stove, if you have awake and alert stem cells, your stem cells will turn into whatever it is for your hand to begin to work again. Okay, so begin to think about that. And David Schmidt knew that. He knew that stem cells were everything. Now, David Schmidt, just to bring some validity to this company, David Schmidt is the founder and the CEO of LifeWave and the X39. Okay, he has over 200 patents, and we just heard that by the end of the year, he's going to have over 300 patents by the end of 2026. We're talking about probably the most brilliant man alive right now, and you're going to see why in a minute. Okay, so he specializes in age reversal. Now, he was contracted by the government, okay, over 20 years ago to come up with something that the Navy SEALs could use that would keep them awake for 24 to 36 hours straight, ready for combat. Okay, he was doing defense weaponry at the time, and they just knew he was incredibly brilliant. So our Navy SEALs, our US Navy SEALs, were hooked on amphetamines at the time. Okay, so they said, David, come up with something, help us that our Navy SEALs could use that they could be able to be alert but not drugged up. And so he began to look at light therapy. He began to look at chemical reactions that the body has based on light because it had to be something that they did not intake. So he started studying like Dr. Edwin, how he wrote the principles of light and color. He found that there were specific lights that when they were put on the body would have chemical reactions. And interestingly enough, he also found that inside the body, as David was studying all of this light, that living cells, all of us, including our dogs who just barked, emit light frequency. And those
Yeah.
are called biophotons. Okay, so absolutely incredible. He was really digging. He found that the body has these chemical, very interesting chemical reactions to the different light frequencies. Okay, so just like when you go outside and you have a chemical reaction where your body produces melanin, okay, that's a chemical reaction. So he began to look and he found that the body, those biophotons, from those biophotons, between 1 to 2 centimeters of light frequency comes off of our body. Now, that's not weird. There's no snake oil. That's not strange. Think about it. Our firefighters, when they are looking for a body inside smoke, what do they use? They actually use an infrared frequency gun to find frequencies of light. What are we emitting? Light frequency. So David Schmidt said, okay, if the body has light, if it has chemical reactions to light and we emit light, what if we reflect a frequency of light back into our body? And so he began to really look at this and he found that there was actually a red light that we emit that when reflected back into the body elevates energy. And here you go, David Schmidt had the first ever photobiomodulation technology that when reflected back into the body of our own light, a red light in this case that you're looking at, that the Navy SEALs were able to stay awake because their bodies produced adrenaline naturally. Well, David Schmidt, he really made his way through because Stanford University got wind of it, Olympic coaches got wind of it. They started putting it on their athletes. Michael Phelps started using it, David Beckham started using it. And they were just absolutely floored about how this technology worked. And David said, I will tell you all, the government tried to buy all of these and contract him and say that you're ours. And he said, no, thank you. I know I'm onto something super, super big. And so David began to really look and he found that there were other frequencies of light that we were emitting. And so he found a frequency of light that the body would elevate melatonin. He found a frequency of light that the body would elevate glutathione. He was really searching, but 10 years, $4.5 million, ladies and gentlemen, that's why you're on tonight. We present to you the X39. This is why it's Testimony Tuesday right here, because the testimonies that you're about to hear are because of the body's reaction to their own light. Okay, what ends up happening, I'm actually wearing it right here. This is actually a different patch that we could talk about, but right here, I'm wearing the X39. Okay, this is reflecting a frequency of light back into my body, and the body's actually naturally elevating what is called a GHKCU peptide. And that GHKCU peptide, when elevated, miracles start happening. Okay, they're amazing. That GHKC peptide was found in 1973, and what they found was then when this is elevated in the body reacts in a miraculous way, from hair and skin to lung health, all the way to brain cells. But the biggest one is waking up those stem cells that earlier Don was saying go to sleep. Isn't that amazing? So we went from trying to synthetically put in peptides to the body elevating the peptides from our own light frequency. It's incredible. Dawn is about to talk to you about how just real quickly it really, really works. But I want to cover this science piece right here because Testimony Tuesday is a little bit different. Okay, we're not going to cover business. We're focused on what is going to happen for our loved ones. Okay, the telomeres, I want you to hear this. This is not on trial. Okay, After 3 years of research of looking at this X39 and what the body does, at the telomere level, they lengthen at a healthy lengthening. At the mitochondrial level, you see major fixing. Okay. So, what ends up happening if you use this technology for 6 months or longer, it is clinically proven that you will reverse an age by an average of 8.5 years. You're talking about the most prolific regenerative technology of our lifetime is right in front of you. So if you're a guest tonight, understand that these testimonies that you're about to hear, and the first one's going to blow your mind. We have somebody else that's going to be sharing about their daughter. You guys, this is big, okay? But what I want you to understand is that when you talk about age reversal, there is nothing else like this, okay? Dawn, can you cover real quickly the how it exactly works?
Sure. And I'm so excited about age reversal. I just love this. This is amazing. So you get this little patch right here, and when it comes in, you're going to put it on, and you can put it anywhere it hurts. If you have a knee issue, if you have a back issue, if you have a big toe issue, you can put it anywhere. But the studies were done on the back of the neck and on the underneath your belly button. And that was just for study purposes so they could be consistent with all of that. But you can literally put it everywhere because this is systemic. It's going to turn on, your body heat is going to activate it, and then it's going to go in and it's going to turn on that GHKCU peptide that Brittany talked about, which is going to activate your stem cells. And then they're going to start working and they're going to start triaging. There's nothing weird about it. Nothing's going to go in your body. Nothing. Nothing at all. It won't interfere with any medication you're taking. It is non-transdermal, which means nothing goes in your body. It's not like a nicotine patch. It's not like a hormone patch. It's not like any of those types of patches, because with those, things do go in your body. So you don't need to be afraid of this because nothing's going in your body. And it just causes your body to do what God wanted it to do, to work correctly. And so those stem cells begin to activate, and then it turns on within the first few days. 4,000 genes begin to reset. Within 6 weeks, your brain becomes balanced. Within 3 months, collagen increases. And collagen isn't just for your hair, skin, and nails. Collagen is the backbone to just about everything in your body. It just holds everything together and it causes everything to work properly. And within 6 months, your heart will begin to reverse in age. That's amazing. I love that. That is fabulous. And it's not anti-aging, but it is age reversing, which is fabulous to me. I love it. So, Brittany, can you give us an example of how to share a testimony?
Absolutely, absolutely. So the benefits of the X39 are unending. So I want to share with you my testimony so that when you guys hear me, as we all share with each other, we snip it to just a perfect testimony where all of us can go, oh my gosh, my brother, my sister, my mom, I want you guys to have hope from this. Okay. So we've been patching for 18 months, and my husband actually was bleeding internally at the time. And when we were introduced to this patch, after 3 days, he stopped snoring. Ladies, stop snoring. And then after that, about 47 days into it, I actually realized that I wasn't feeling right. I went to the doctor, took my blood work. 3 days later, my doctor called me and said, you have to stop doubling up your medication. You have to. And I said, I'm not. And he said, what do you mean? I said, I'm not. Well, he took me off, ladies and gentlemen, my thyroid medication, which I was on and I was doomed to be on forever. So that is my testimony. So if you guys, that is, it's incredible. Now, my husband, he's no longer bleeding internally. His energy level is incredible. And actually, he's now lost 46 pounds since being on the patch, which is just absolutely incredible. And it's because he has the mental clarity and the ability to actually go to the gym and do the things that he wanted to do, but he just didn't have the ability. He was severely anemic. So that's our testimony. And I hope that, as we all share with each other, that we all really bless each other with each of our testimonies. But what you're going to hear is increased strength all the way to mental clarity and energy and vitality. You're going to hear all of that. Dawn touched just now about what ends up happening at 6 weeks, balancing of the brain. So if somebody on here has COVID brain, you're gonna be okay. Okay, it's all gonna come back. The improvement of sleep, it's not just gonna be because your spouse stopped snoring, although praise God, that will happen. It's also going to be that your REM sleep is going to begin to happen. You're going to start dreaming again, and that improves skin appearance. So it's absolutely incredible. It's very sophisticated, very simple to explain. This is my testimony. It was very short. But I was even able to cancel my orthopedic appointment for my arm where I was told I needed surgery. So that's it, guys. So with that, what we'd love to do is we would love for our first testimony to jump on. I would love it if Wendy, if you could unmute yourself, I would be greatly appreciative. This is an incredible woman. She's actually our counselor. We love her. And she's just an amazing woman. So Wendy, go ahead and unmute yourself. Let's see. There you go. You just push the
Yeah.
button. There we go.
Hi, can y'all see me? Hello.
Yes.
Can you see my little thingy there? Okay. Hi, my name is Wendy Garrett Calvert. I live in Richmond, Texas. I'm a mental health professional. I have a very rare clotting disorder called antiphospholipid syndrome. Only 205,000 people in the United States of America have it. I was diagnosed with it roughly about 25, 26 when my husband and I were trying to get pregnant. I've had 18 miscarriages, 3 essential stillbirths, and 1 live birth. That live birth is my miracle child, my son, who is now 21. Drives me crazy, but that's fine. I'm good with it. My body tried to abort him at about 6.5 months. I then had to be admitted for the duration of my pregnancy, and then they had to eventually induce me at about 32 weeks. So my journey with my crazy blood disorder is like just wild. I'm a level 4 USTA tennis player. I'm a gym rat. I'm a very strict pescatarian, vegetarian. I do all the healthy things. I was introduced to this. Keep in mind, I'm on Eliquis. I have heparin shots for emergencies. I take a litany of blood pressure issues due to this antiphospholipid syndrome, which is actually a form of lupus. I've tested positive for the lupus anticoagulant, but I'm considered dormant state, and I'm only 48 years old. So, I feel like I'm like this medicine cabinet, but I'm the super walking healthy person. Um, the doctors and all the hematologists and oncologists that I've seen throughout, the 20 something years I've had this, it's either hereditary or it's something through like blood transfusions or something like that. There's no cure for it. They deem my situation and all the testing that we've done probably hereditary. I was introduced to this technology about 5 months ago by my sponsor, Ashley. And I just said, well, why not? I mean, kind of thing. I don't, I mean, I just use the X39. I don't have any like issues like inflammation and stuff like that. But I thought, well, I'm willing to try anything, especially anything holistic. Roughly about 10 days ago, I thought I was getting a blood clot. I was kind of freaked out about it. I typically put my health and myself last. I had work, I was running around all the things. And then I felt this blood clot like on the back of my knee. And I had long work day of counseling. I got home, took a shower. I was like, oh, I gotta go. I got to go to the ER. I was going to my sister's the next day because she had had knee replacement surgery. I had to take care of her. I was like, dang it, I got a clot. I can just freaking feel it. So I dragged myself to the ER at like 8 o'clock at night, pajamas. I literally, like, no joke. I walk into this ER and they like know me by name. I'm like, okay, I don't need any. I just give me a D-dimer test. All I care about. I'm tired. I'm a little irritable. I'm at the ER. It's 8 o'clock at night. I'm antiphospholipid syndrome. I know you're new. I'm not new. This is like a 3 time a year thing for me. Not in the mood for anyone's BS and give me this and give me that. I don't want any drugs. I just need some blood work and then I want to get home. I'm tired and this is the way we're going to roll. And this doctor who actually worked on me last March when I was at Oak Bend ER, he was like, Miss Calvert. I was like, hello, can we get some blood done? Because I'm really tired. So he does my blood work. He was like, you don't need anything for pain. Nope, I'm good. I'm straight. Get home, get in my bed, I go long work day tomorrow. and I got to get to my sister, so I'm busy. So he comes back to me at like 11 o'clock in the ER, and he's like, Wendy, um, I need to ask you a very ethical question. And I'm like, what? I'm like, what kind of crap is this up and up in DR? I'm like, what do you mean ethical? I'm like, I live my entire life by being ethical. What does that mean? He said, are you taking double of your Eliquis? And I'm like, no, I would never do that without talking to my doctor. Are you crazy? And he's like, well, I really don't know what to say with your blood results. He said, and like, he takes his glasses off and he's like, I'm shocked. And I'm like, what do you mean you're shocked? What am I getting admitted? Like, what's wrong? Another one? What? He's like, I had the test reran. He said, I had your lab work rerun because I didn't believe it. I'm like, will you just tell me what in the world's going on? Because I'm tired and I'm getting cranky. If I'm being admitted, I need to know. Can't like, I'm not in the mood for all this. Like, what's going on? He was like, your D-dimer levels are like 215. I'm like, do what? So D-dimer levels are how they measure blood clots. So I'm like a walking nightmare for ER doctors. I walk in, I'm like, yeah, I run about 2,700. I'm good. Just give me a heparin shot and get on my merry way. I'm fine. He was like, no. Like, I pulled up your blood work from last March when you were here. Last March, I was 2250. And as Brittany can show you, I was maybe 10 days ago, it's 215. So the milligrams of like a normal person, like all of you on Zoom tonight, your D-dimer levels, your clotting levels are anywhere from 0 to 500 milliliters. I'm like quadruple that. And so the only blood work I have to go on is what I did last March. I have an appointment in September for my second year checkup that I do. And then I have this blood work. So
That's
I was
amazing.
blown away. I mean, I got home really late. I called Brittany first thing in the morning and I was like, holy guacamole, this is insane. So yeah, it blew my mind. So I actually have an appointment September 20th with my hematologist, and we're going to compare my current ER blood work to March. So
Awesome.
yeah, kind of wild, right?
I
And
love
he said to me, he said, what are you doing? And I said, well, I'm using the X39 stem cell rejuvenation patch. And he looked at me and he was like, I heard about something like that last week. Someone's in the yard. I was like, yeah, well, whatever. I'm going to send you information about it, and I need to get on home. I'm tired. Anything else you need? And
it.
He was like, no,
That is
I'm kind of
amazing.
blown away with your blood work. And I'm like, yeah, me too, but I'm ready to go home. It's freaking like 11:30 at night. So
That is
I'm
amazing.
pretty shocked by it. So yeah, I'm a pretty rare, pretty strong. I've had a pulmonary embolism. I've had like 4 DVTs. Like if you
And
can
this is
convince me,
just the beginning.
then it's pretty much a gold star for me. So
I love it. This
yeah,
is just
yeah,
the beginning. Wendy, thank
I
you so much
know.
for sharing. We
All
wanted to
righty,
share with
yeah.
them the
So
blood
if you
work.
guys have any questions about the slide, just send me a message and I can tell you, because antiphosphate's a very rare thing, and I can send you more information about it.
I
It's a
love it.
cardiovascular thing too. So
I
all
love it.
right, y'all have a great evening.
Thank you, friend. Thank you. Thank
Okay,
you.
bye.
All right. Bye-bye, dear. Okay, awesome. So I wanted her to share just because, guys, this is a very normal thing, but other things, right, where we just see something that's just miraculous. And she called and she said, well, I can't explain this. So I wanted you guys to hear that one. But, all of us deal with very normal things every day, right? And so that's the other testimonies that we want to hear tonight. So, Dawn, take it away. You call on people.
Hey, Bernadette, are you unmuted? Are you ready to share with us what's going on with you?
Yes, I am.
Awesome.
All right, guys. So, my name is Bernadette. I've been on the patch for going on 1 year. My husband had the quickest results. His was within about 3 days. He had sleep apnea. We had tried everything from all the stuff that you kind of put in your mouth and draw corrections to things in close up of his nose, tape over his mouth. That was kind of a funny one. All the stuff. Ended up by day 3. His sleep apnea was gone. He was able to breathe. We wear these things called an aura ring, so we have quantitative evidence as well that shows that his sleep went from what normally for years and years on end was around a 40 and 50, right? To where now he's in the 80s and 90s. It's wonderful. And that then just went into a effect of his workout. He only works out 2 times a week, and he feels like he's 25. For me, mine took a little bit longer. Um, I've been dealing with adrenal fatigue for about 10 years. My hormones I would go to the doctor every 3 months to get my levels checked. I'm sorry, I'm on a call. Just 1 second. And then from those checks, they were like, okay, tryptophan, your neurotransmitters. I was all sorts of mess, and I would even call it like my crazy stick was showing because I would get really angry, and my husband, my girls, and they're like, "What's going on with mom?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I'm such a flippin' happy person, but I'm so angry." Right? So it was a mess. So I'm in my mid 40s. So and I knew, the doctors usually tell you, "Oh, your blood work's fine, no big deal." Well, here we are. And by through month three, I was obviously I would say month one, I was feeling better. Month two, much better. Month three, I actually had the evidence with all the doctors I went to of like, okay, like you're back, you're normal now. You're not needing anything. That was a big deal. So those two things together, those were my biggest things. I have so many other testimonials with all three of my children, my dogs, horses. Oh my gosh, that's a whole other one.
Can you
But
share that? Can you share your horses and your children real fast? Because I haven't heard the horse one yet, and I would really like to hear because I think we have quite a few people that really need to hear this about horses.
Okay, yeah, sure, absolutely. So, man, I wish I'll have to send you pictures next time too. So we had a horse that got wounded on a barbed wire fence. When that took place, it ripped off. You could see tendons. It was not good. That day, we took him to the vet. We had to start wrapping. I started patching him up. Um, the vet, we are now on month two. We still are wrapping, but everything has been enclosed. And the vet said, "Oh my gosh, he's healed way quicker than I thought." And my smart college student daughter was like, "It's because of the patches." And so, and we're like, "But it is, it's the truth because there's no, we did the basics, right? You wrap, put all this stuff so it wouldn't get bacteria. We took good care of him, but has quickly because it was open, like you could see
Yeah.
inside his leg, right?
Wow.
And but the patch allowed him to heal so much quicker from the inside out,
That's great.
which it was amazing. When it comes to my kids, I have three girls. Um, just yesterday, my oldest calls me and she says, "Hey, my back's hurting." I'm like, "Okay, 39.49, put it on your back." I ask her within a couple hours, she's like, "Oh yeah, no, it's good now." Like we just don't even think about it because it happens so subtly.
Yes.
That's the I say odd part of it, but it does happen so subtly. You put
Yes.
it on and you kind of go about your business, and then you're like, "Oh, that's right, I was hurting this morning. I kind of forgot about it." And she's really active. It works out, all of that kind of stuff. Super, super active.
Perfect.
Yeah, and then my youngest would probably be the biggest deal of that one. They dubbed her as a high functioning autism, which I did not accept that. I rebuked that one. I was like, no, that's not the case, because I'm like, we're going to get to the core of this, and she actually used my extras because it was crazy. Anyways, patched her up. And her now favorite subject is math. We went from struggling and being stagnant and not being able to understand, crying, her labeling herself as not smart, and she's just, this is how she is. And we patched her up. She has her fears gone away. That's been a huge thing. Seriously, guys, she would follow us. "Well, where are you going?" And we were just going from like a bedroom to a kitchen. It was really odd. But now she can go, she does whatever. She goes out to the pond by herself, and we have a lot of land. That was never done. So many wonderful things. The testimonies are endless on my end.
I love it. Thank you, Bernadette. I know that
Yes.
you bring such a different flavor with all of the things. So thank you so much for
Yes,
sharing. Thank you. Thank
absolutely.
you. I'm going to call on Lisa right now. I'm so excited to hear this testimony. I've not heard it yet. It's fresh off the press. So let's see if Lisa can share.
Hi guys, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So my name's Lisa Brannon. I live in Montgomery, Texas. My friends Scott and PJ Miller, who are on right now, introduced me to the patch. Actually, I saw a post that PJ put on Facebook, and it said all the things that Scott had a really bad case of long COVID and lung issues, and that he was healed from most of that and he was getting so much better. And I was like, PJ, you got to send me some information. What are you talking about? So she did. And I read a few things. She sent me a lot. I read a few, not all of it. But what I read, I thought, I don't get it. I really don't. So I called PJ. I said, this sounds like hocus pocus. And she said, Lisa, I swear it's not. It's patented. We've got to try it. So she gave me a few to try. So I call COVID the gift that keeps on giving because I have issues from having COVID in 2020 and I had a really bad case. Wasn't in the hospital, but probably should have been. And the first symptom about a month after, the residual symptom, a month after, my hair started to fall out. Some of you might have experienced that. I hear it's pretty common when you had COVID. And not just in strands. I would brush it and clumps would fall out. And I didn't have a lot of hair. My hair was thin and fine to begin with. So I was in a panic. And I called my doctor and I went in, she did blood tests and all of that. And she said, I hate to break it to you, but this is just a symptom of COVID. And your hair may never ever grow back the way it was. And it really hadn't. So then the other symptoms I've had were of long COVID. I woke up in the middle of the night about 3 months after I had COVID one night. My hands were so achy and they hurt so bad. I was almost in tears and just stiff, almost like rheumatoid arthritis that happened instantly. So again, I was in a panic. What's going on? That night, the first night it was my hands. Second night it was my feet. And I would wake up and just aching and pain, like shooting pain, just so bad. So I went to my doctor again and I said, what is going on? They ran an abundance of tests, tested me for rheumatoid, all kinds of autoimmune, nothing. It was all negative. So I kind of touched with PJ a little bit on my symptoms, but not a lot. I also had a pain down my right leg when I would sleep on my right side every night. So needless to say, my nights were pretty sleepless. And my mornings, because of that, would be very sluggish and slow going. I also use my hands for work. I'm a permanent makeup artist. So I have to have hands that work really well. My doctors put me on anti-inflammatories, which I didn't really want to take. I don't like that, but I had to. I had to work. So I told PJ a few of my symptoms, but not all. After the first patch, that night, I slept better. I did wake up once or twice with a little bit of pain, but nothing like it had been. Second night, woke up maybe once and I'm like, what is going on? This is crazy. Third night, no pain, zero pain. I have not had any pain since I started, except, and I've only been doing it 2 months, except I did run out. Unfortunately, I made the mistake of letting myself run out over a weekend trip and my pain came back somewhat and I felt sluggish again. So again, I got back on them. I feel great. The other thing that's been so amazing to me is because of all these symptoms and this inflammation in my body, I feel very sluggish. I have brain fog. Some mornings I feel like I just can't get out of bed. I just move really slow in the mornings. I don't start booking appointments till 10 or 11 because I can't really get motivated and get moving. So on the third day, I noticed that really didn't happen. I kind of bounced out of bed and I felt really good. And I'm like, this is weird. A week went by. Fridays are always my day where I come home from work. I'm exhausted. I don't cook. I don't do anything. I sit on the couch or in my bed reading or watching TV and I order pizza for the family because I'm just too tired to do anything. A week went by of me being on the patch and I called PJ. Well, I got home from work. I made banana pudding. I swept and mopped my floor. I went outside and pulled weeds in my garden. And it was like 8 o'clock at night. And I went, what the heck is going on? It's a Friday. Like, what is going on? I called PJ. I said, PJ, this is weird. Like, I feel amazing. I have so much energy. And it's not like that caffeine energy that's not normal, not natural. It was a feel good. I just feel great. And I said, I feel like I'm 25 again. And I heard someone say that earlier. I feel like I'm 25 again. Maybe that might be pushing it, maybe 30, 35, but I do feel really, really good. I have so much energy. The energy is out over the roof. It's just amazing. And I've got my husband on it. He's a very extreme ADHD. I can kind of see him focusing a lot better now. I have a granddaughter. I haven't tried it on her yet. She's really high ADHD as well. I'm going to try it on her and hoping for results for that too. I also got my daughter on it who has had trouble getting pregnant for the past 5 years. She's been trying, and I'm keeping my fingers crossed and praying that they work for that. So who knows? It's been amazing.
I love it. I love it. That is awesome. Well, thank you so much. Miss Dawn, who do we have next? And you guys can raise your hands. Who do we have next?
We have Lee. Lee, can you unmute yourself and share with us?
Fresh off the press with something big. Let's see if he's there.
All right.
There he is.
I guess Stace sent a text message in, huh, saying I have a testimony.
Yeah. Good old lives.
Exactly. So to share with you all, I had a medical procedure done on Monday afternoon. And so they went in laparoscopically, and I actually had an ulcer and a hernia inside my stomach. So they did the surgery yesterday. Yesterday, which was Monday. And when I got home today, one of the incisions was very, very inflamed. And Stace looked at it. She said, "Man, that's inflamed." So we decided, okay, I'm going to put also, my stomach feels like I've been hit by a Mack truck. So I feel like I've done 1,000, sit-ups. And so with that being the case, I decided, okay, let me I put on a 39, I put a 49 on, and I put an Aeon on where the inflammation portion, where it was all inflamed. And in a matter of hours, it's going down. Matter of hours. I put it on about 3 o'clock, and now it's 8:30. So about 5 hours, and so it went. It's going. I mean, it's literally going out. Now, the other thing that happened while I was in the hospital, they told me we need you to walk around and this, that, and the other. And so I got up off the bed without no problem. I was walking around, and all the nurses were saying, "How are you doing this?" Everybody else that has that procedure, they're aching, they're paining, they're complaining. And in my case, God was with me, and thank God for these patches, because I had a patch on during the surgery. I had a 39 behind my C7 on the back of my neck. So I'm so thankful for it. I feel better. It's just been a complete godsend. So that's it, Britt.
I love it. So guys, this is the beauty of this technology. It works on everybody, on everything, every single time. It doesn't matter, from horses and children to whatever you are dealing with COVID, whatever you're dealing with right now. I will tell you guys, I will share this technology that I'm wearing is actually the Ice Wave. My throat felt like I had daggers coming through it. I could not speak earlier at all, at all. And when I put the Ice Wave on, guys, within 5 to 10 seconds. So when I tell you within 5 to 10 seconds, it was 5 to 10 seconds. So I called Donna. I said, Donna, I need your help. Can you talk for me a little bit? And she was able to. But guys, this is what you have your hands on. So if there's anybody else that wants to share, of course we want you to share. But how you're going to wear the patch, Dawn said it. You want to put it where you need it. Earlier, somebody spoke about the X39, X49. It was Lee and Stacy. The X49 actually helps the endothelial cells, so it helps your muscle, it helps your heart. The X39 is your mama bear patch. If you need anything, it's X39, okay? But the Eon actually takes down the inflammation. Okay, so the inflammation, when the Eon patch touches your body will actually take down the inflammation. And I actually wore it on my chest last night because I was pretty sure that I was on my way to pneumonia, and it was incredible. I could feel my lungs actually begin to start soothing out, which has never happened to me ever. When I get pneumonia, I'm down for about a month. So I've been absolutely floored. So put them where you need them. Okay. You want to wear them 12 hours a day. Take them off. You can put them on your dog or your horse. Take them off. You can put them on the dog if there's hip issues, if there's neck issues. Okay. You want to stay hydrated with electrolytes. Okay, there's also Cellergize that David Schmidt created, which is incredible. So you can use that. You can look at that and talk to the person that invited you with that. But just know that this technology is going to work on everybody, on everything. Now, I want to touch on my grandmother quickly because somebody messaged earlier about Alzheimer's. My grandmother was actually diagnosed with dementia last January, and it took me quite a few months to talk my family into patching her. She now remembers my children's names, their birthdays, what they like to do, what they don't like to do, and if I called her back. She is now gambling at the casino again, ladies and gentlemen. My Sicilian grandmother who could not do anything. So absolutely incredible. She put it on the back of her neck. The doctors at the home that she lives in actually put it on the back of their neck. And she's just, they're floored by the change in her body. They're floored. Okay, so make sure that you use this technology consistently 12 hours a day. Do not skip. Okay, you need to know, do not skip a day. Okay, because earlier, Lisa, I'm so glad that you mentioned that. Okay, earlier she said, we ran out. Hear me. 70% of us feel a miracle between 5 minutes and 5 days. 97% of people feel a miracle within 90 days. Your miracles, like Dawn said earlier, those stem cells that we are waking up are like heat-seeking missiles. They're going to find the worst place, okay? But it's going to take a little bit of time for you to completely feel whole. Okay, so just know that it's going to work. You need to give it 1 month per decade that you're alive. If you're not going to give this 90 days, don't do it, because I don't want you to turn around and tell the person it didn't work, because I know it's going to work. It will work. Okay. So just know that what you have your hands on is so unique, so special, that there's a documentary that's coming out about Life Wave. And because it's Testimony Tuesday, I am going to share this piece. There is a new technology coupled with the X39 that is about to come out in August, September, and October. Okay, now this technology is actually a water machine that infuses a light frequency into the water, and it is patented, it is studied, it is not on trial. I just heard an incredible testimony about actually, well, two testimonies about a dog that was actually being given the water, and the dog is fine. Fine. Okay. So that is one testimony. The other testimony that I heard was about a lady that she was using the X39. She was just given the X39. And when she started drinking the water, she was basically on her deathbed. She was on her deathbed, not basically. And she was able to actually go to church for the first time in 3 years on Sunday. 3 years. So what you have your hands on is incredibly unique with this X39. Incredible. Okay. So just know it is very, very special. If there are testimonies that you need to hear, if there are testimonies, I'm sorry if you can hear my dog. If there are testimonies that you need to hear or see, go to thisisitinfo.com, and that is where you're going to find the most incredible testimonies about stroke, neuropathy, eye improvement, hair improvement, whatever it is. The body's going to fix it, and these testimonies are all able to be found right here at This Is It Info. If you say, well, Brittany, I need to see the studies, you can find them on thisisitinfo.com. Also, we had two doctors on yesterday and today. So if you want to hear about some medical, if you want to hear what medical practitioners are saying, or chiropractors are saying, or nurses are saying, you can actually ask your sponsor. They were incredible Zooms between last night and today. And you have access to all of these. So if you say, I need my family to see this, I need my family to be a part of it, you're absolutely right. And don't block the blessing of the people that you know and love, because I can tell you that it will bless you more to see your family go through the process of watching their body fix itself. It's going to bless you more than you could even imagine, because I cannot tell you, my heart bursts every single time that I see somebody that I know and love that uses this technology. And so, guys, between that, the doctors and the testimonies, between the text messages that I get, this is my miracle inbox. I got two more, and actually, I'm going to have somebody share about their dog. I got a video this morning about somebody's dog. I mean, guys, what we have our hands on is very, very, very special and very unique. And the X39 is just the beginning with LifeWave. The goal of LifeWave is to become the health technology company of the world. And it is all through distribution of friends, because he knew that these testimonies were going to be way too personal. You can't slap this in Walgreens and make this something that people are going to want to buy on the shelves. It's a sticker, guys. Would you ever think that the sticker that I'm wearing is making the difference? Of course not, right? So David Schmidt knew that this had to be testimony based. He knew it. And so I want you guys to lean into that, because that is going to be something that's really going to bless you. Now, I did receive just one more, and lean into this. I did receive a text message just now about FDA. This does not qualify for FDA. It is not a food and this is not a drug, ladies and gentlemen. This is light phototherapy. In fact, many of the health savings accounts, or the FSAs, actually cover these patches. Why? Because it's phototherapy, like Dawn said. There's nothing going into the body. Excuse me. So, what I would say is you want to get back to the person that invited you to this call, ask about the core, advanced, or premium, jump in. You can absolutely share this with people that you know and love, but know that what you have your hands on is very unique and you are going to have a testimony. You can couple any of these packages with the X49, the X39, with the Eon, with the Ice Wave, which blocks that throat pain. Okay, right away, you can couple it however you want. And I'm telling you guys, don't block your blessing, because nights like this is what I get to be a part of, what all of our family gets to be a part of, because of the power of this technology. So if you're new, welcome. Because I truly believe after you heard these testimonies that you're going to say, okay, at least 90 days. And I know that you'll be on giving a testimony very much like Mindy did, or like Wendy did earlier, that goes, my mind is blown, right? I just know it. So with that, I love every single one of you. I'm so excited for what testimonies are going to come from just being on tonight and joining us. Dawn, thank you for co-hosting. You saved my voice in a magical way. So I love you guys, and we'll be talking to you guys very soon. Tomorrow night, if you want to see another presentation, we have a dear man, Danny McDaniel, who'll be doing a presentation. But I would just say, don't hold your blessing back. Just jump in, wear the technology, and we will see you on the other side of the screen where you're sharing what this technology did for you. Have a blessed evening.